I'm at Forks High School in Forks, Washington, which is the setting for Twilight, and it's where they're really tired of jokes like this.
We've had kids show up with garlic necklaces.
During football season, I think one of the teams here came with plastic vampire fangs in their mouth.
And because they just think it's funny to call us werewolves and vampires.
People don't really care about what they say because it's like stupid or whatever.
Forks is a rainy town of 3,200 people on the remote wet side of Washington State's Olympic Peninsula. Seattle is a 4-hour drive away, including a ferry ride. The local joke is that Forks is closer to outer space, 62 miles, than the nearest Walmart, 67 miles. In other words, you have to want to get to Forks. And until recently, not many people did. One reason was the weather. Forks receives more than 10 feet of rain a year. Yes, you heard right, 10 feet, not inches. The other reason was the economy. Forks boasts that it is the logging capital of the world, but as the logging industry declined over the decades, unemployment rose. But when author Stephanie Myers chose Forks as a site for her Twilight books, she and her vampires breathed new life into the town. The Chamber of Commerce says that 10,000 tourists visited the town in 2007, more than 70,000 visited last year, and most of them were here for Twilight. Other cities have Starbucks across the street from a Starbucks. Forks has Twilight stores across the street from Twilight stores. Annette Bruno-Root opened Dazzled by Twilight less than 2 years ago. Now she has 3 stores, plus a bus tour, and a restaurant. She says she employs 55 people to feed the fans everything from Twilight lunchboxes and shirts to lotions and stand-up figures. How crazy is it? Even the local locksmith sells Twilight merchandise. The Forks High School Athletic Department is profiting as well.
Since the Twilight phenomenon has really kicked off, we have a lot of foot traffic that comes through here just to pose in front of the sign. The people will come, their buddy will be standing across the street, and they'll get a picture in front of the sign in front of the original building. These Twilight fans will come to our football games, our basketball games, volleyball games because they're in town and they want to do something in the evening. So they'll come in and then they'll ask somebody, hey, can we get some Spartan t-shirts or some Spartan sweatshirts as well? And that money goes straight into our ASB account, and from there it gives us a few extra dollars to put into the program's budgets. So each program gets a little slice of it, and it helps out. You know, every little bit helps. So we appreciate the fan base of Twilight who have been inadvertently helping support our athletics program too.
So this was the crash scene, or this is where they would have had the crash scene?
Yes, right around here, these parking spaces is where we tell Twilight fans where the crash scene, the near-death experience of Bella in the first book and movie would have taken place.
This is the colon table, right?
Yeah, one of them is usually designated the colon table for when we have fans come through, and fans will sit down and take a picture in front of the table, and we'll put a few props on it, you know, a well-staged apple. Yeah, there's the science labs where we always say that's where Bella and Edward first met, well, or at least first really got to know each other.
Ruprecht says the school took in more than $4,000 by selling shirts and giving tours of the building when fans celebrated Bella's birthday last year.
Two of the biggest things that we have to wrestle with are transportation and the weather. We receive about 120 to 140 inches of rain a year, so 10 to 12 feet a year. That's a standard year of rainfall for us. I think this year I've had to reschedule half of our schedule. Part 2 of our frustration sometimes is the transportation. Our students have to ride the bus 3 hours to our nearest, 2.5 to 3 hours to our nearest league contest. So our students are getting out of school about 11:30 a.m. and not getting home until well after midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning.
So what do the Forks High School athletes think about Twilight?
I don't like the books, and I haven't read all of them, and I haven't seen the movies, but I think it's doing a really good thing for our town, and I think it's bringing in a lot of interesting people, and it's really good for our economy. So overall, I think it's good.
It's been very nice that different groups and agencies that have come through here to, you know, partake in the Spartan ambiance of the Twilight phenomenon have given back to our community and given back to our school as well. So we really appreciate that.
Do you understand what the appeal is?
No, I have no idea. I do not understand what is so great about a vampire in a rainy town.